I actually want Ironheart to succeed.
Stop the cap.
And while I have been a fan of anything related to Iron Man since I was born, putting my bias aside, I have to admit, after seeing the trailer for the new series, this is a terrible way to honor a beloved legacy character and redeem an unpopular one. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to preface this with anything about the character's history in comics or her origin. If you want to hear a bit about that, check out the video I released a few months back. One thing that is important to note is RiRi Williams was not well received in the comics. Being introduced in 2016 and getting a limited comic run that inconsistently lasted the better part of 5 years, unfortunately for Marvel, the character just didn't succeed the way they probably hoped. But instead of shelving Ironheart, Marvel doubled down, and now we're getting the Ironheart live action series. Considering RiRi Williams was not well received, you could argue that maybe readers were just tired of seeing an oversaturation of new characters during the all-new Marvel phase. Or what I believe to be the main reason, the storytelling fell flat. Let's quickly compare what we know of Tony's character arc to RiRi's character arc. Tony Stark, billionaire industrialist, injured and captured, builds armor to survive. Near-death experience in a cave forces Tony to reevaluate his legacy. He's challenged with moral struggles like his own arrogance versus accountability, his history of weapons manufacturing, PTSD, and alcoholism. He can be egotistical at times, impulsive, and suffers from his own guilt. He builds an advanced suit of armor that adapts more and more over time. He eventually learns to sacrifice and take responsibility for his actions. His character arc is one of redemption, and his Iron Man armor can be taken as a metaphor for hiding his pain, while using his greatest skill to fight for something bigger than himself. Let's also mention that he was obviously the engine that carried the MCU during the first 3 phases.
I am Iron Man.
Now let's analyze RiRi, teen prodigy attending MIT, who builds her own version of the Iron Man armor from stolen parts around the campus. Her motivation is a desire to be a hero, from her personal trauma of violence. Now pay close attention to this. Her main moral struggle is her identity as a young black woman in STEM, attempting to carve a legacy of her own. Her biggest character flaws are things like social awkwardness and pressure to live up to Iron Man. Her character arc is one that includes discovering her identity, inspiration, coming of age, and representation. Her armor can serve as a symbol of empowerment, potential, and progress. While she was introduced in Black Panther 2, her story in the MCU will expand in the Ironheart series. I bring up the comparison of these two characters for several reasons. What makes a comic book character likable is how relatable they can be to the reader. And while most fans reading these comics can't relate to the super genius billionaire, they can relate to someone experiencing trauma, personal struggle, maybe even near-death experiences, and resonate with what the journey looks like to overcome these trials. This is why Iron Man has soared to popularity for decades. He went from being a C-list character to a household name in the matter of years. His popularity, of course, can be attributed to RDJ's awesome portrayal, but his character arc is one that translates among longtime and casual fans of Marvel. When it comes to RiRi, her character arc just falls flat. Not only is she a character that isn't relatable, but she is hard to root for because of how unlikable she is. Remember I mentioned that she built her own Iron Man armor from stolen tech. The last time I checked, no one likes a thief. Not to mention, her motivations are mostly self-centered. She's driven to use her intellect because of her desire to be a hero, and from personal trauma of past violence. On the surface, these sound like admirable traits, but when you think about it, it comes off as egocentric and shallow. You could argue that this is how the character of Tony Stark started out in his journey. And to that I would say, you've got a great point. However, Tony saw the error in his ways and realized that he needed to change his old way of thinking and become someone better. RiRi remains the same person. The only difference is now you gave her a suit of armor and expect fans to take her serious as a hero. You see, being a hero isn't about fulfillment of oneself based on your own ambitions. Being a hero is about putting others first and prioritizing what is right, despite how it'll make you look in the eyes of others.
Yes, sir! This nigga spitting.
Even her suit serving as a symbol of empowerment. Again, while that does sound inspiring, it just makes me think that no one really cares about how the suit makes her feel empowered. I think it was Tony Stark who said it the best.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
RiRi is supposed to be this super intelligent young woman. Let's see some of that genius level intellect be put to work, which is something the trailer failed to accomplish by opening with a shot of her using force to find a way out of the trapped gas-filled elevator. I have to say, when the trailer started and I saw the timer, I thought, finally! Okay, Marvel showing us that the protagonist of the show is going to use her brain to disarm the trap and come up with some creative way to get out of the situation. But Marvel had other plans.
Psych!
Let's just call it willful ignorance on my part for thinking otherwise.
You stupid!
Marvel had the chance to reinvent this character for the third time. Actually focus on making a character with redeemable qualities and a likable personality. It probably wouldn't have solved everything wrong with this character, but just maybe, it would have helped steer Ironheart in a better direction when she's included in future projects. Overall, Ironheart is not gearing up to be a success at all. With Marvel planning to release the first 3 episodes of a 6-episode series one week and the remaining 3 the following week, it just seems like they want to banish this one to the shadow realm as quickly as possible. I find it funny how one of the most famous taglines,
"With great power comes great responsibility."
But they choose to be irresponsible with their IP in just half the time it took to get through the Infinity Saga. And look where that's gotten them.
Ironic.
That's my little rant before we get the Ironheart series. Hopefully this ages terribly and the character gets the Miles Morales treatment and sees more success in TV and film than she did in comics. Like a lot of Disney Marvel stuff, I'm going to this one with cautious optimism. That probably stems from Ryan Coogler being involved, but I don't think even he can save this one. But what do you guys think? Can Ironheart succeed? Will it succeed? Do you even want it to succeed? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe for more not so nice rants like this. Keep believing, keep breathing, and as always, keep pushing peace. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Iconic.
Oh, bro.